Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, as we go through Leviticus, we've talked about the sacrifices that are given, and in yesterday and today, we're talking about the exact specifications of those sacrifices. And we talked about yesterday how I have my owner's manual for my coil nail gun. And in that first page, it has the specifications. And it says specifications. It never says suggestions as to way you should use this. So it gives me the exact nail size I need to use, how much air I need to use, and all kinds of things like that, to be exact, okay? Even gives me the model number. It's not a suggestion of like, oh, just make up what model number you want to. No, it's exact specifications here. Leviticus is exact specifications. It's the owner's manual, okay, for the people of the Old Testament, the priests and everything going on with that. So as we look at that owner's manual, keep in mind we have an owner's manual as Christians, and that is the whole Bible, okay? And so especially in the New Testament, where Jesus tells us how exactly we should live, all right? And, well, all of the New Testament. Let's keep on going here today. We're going to be reading chapter 7, verses 1 through 27, and looking at more specifications on these offerings, okay? So this is Leviticus 7, 1 through 27. These are the regulations for the guilt offering, which is the most holy. The guilt offering is to be slaughtered in the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered, and the blood is to be splashed against the sides of the altar. All its fat shall be offered, the fat tail and the fat of the kidneys that covers the internal organs, both the kidneys with the fat on them near the loins and the long lobe of the liver, which is to be removed with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them all on the altar as a food offering presented to the Lord. It is a guilt offering. Any male in the priest's family may eat it, but it must not be eaten in the sanctuary area. It is most holy. Okay, so here we go. The exact specifications, exactly where you were to, splatter the blood, what you were to cut off, taking the fat, taking the internal organs. In fact, given very detailed what internal organs were to be cut. Okay, all that is spelled out very clear. So if you're going to, you're getting ready to do this offering, all you need to do is read this and go, oh yeah, I need to do it exactly this way. Okay. Verse 7, the same law applies to both the sin offering and the guilt offerings. They belong to the priest who makes atonement with them. The priest who offers a burnt offering for anyone may keep its hide for himself. Every grain offering baked in the oven or cooked on a pan or in a griddle belongs to the priest who offers it. And every grain offering, whether mixed with olive oil or dry, belongs equally to all the sons of Aaron. Okay. All right, the fellowship offering. Here we are, verse 11. These are the regulations for the fellowship offering. Anyone may present it to the Lord. If they offer it as an expression of thankfulness, then along with the thank offering, they are to offer thick loaves made with yeast and with olive oil mixed in, thin loaves made without yeast and brushed with oil, and thick loaves of the finest flour, well kneaded and with oil mixed in. Along with the fellowship offering of thanksgiving, they are to present an offering with thick loaves of bread made with yeast. They are to bring one of each kind as an offering, a contribution to the Lord. It belongs to the Lord. No, it belongs to the priest who splashes the blood of the fellowship offering against the altar. The meat of the fellowship offering of thanksgiving must be eaten on the day it is offered. They must leave none of it till morning. Okay, better be eating it all. There's no refrigeration back then, so God had a plan for all this. He wasn't like, well, just eat this whenever and get sick. But he had a plan for this. Verse 16. If, however, their offering is the result of a vow or free will offering, the sacrifice shall be eaten on the day they offer it, but anything left over may be eaten on the next day. Any meat of the sacrifice left over till the third day must be burned up. If any of the meat of the fellowship offering is eaten on the third day, the one who offered it will not be accepted. It will not be reckoned to their credit, for it has become impure, and the person who eats any of it will be held responsible. Meat that touches anything ceremonially unclean must not be eaten. It must be burned up. As for other meat, anyone ceremonially clean may eat it. But if anyone who is unclean eats any of the meat of the fellowship offering belonging to the Lord, they must be cut off from the people. Anyone who touches something unclean, whether human uncleanliness or unclean animal or unclean creature that moves along the ground, and then eats any of the meat of the fellowship offering belonging to the Lord, must be cut off from the people. Okay, one last section here as we read verse 22 to 27. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, do not eat any of the fat of the cattle, the sheep, or the goats. The fat of an animal found dead or torn by wild animals may be used for any other purpose, but you must not eat it. Anyone who eats the fat of an animal from which the food offering may be presented to the Lord must be cut off from the people. And wherever you live, you must not eat the blood of any bird or animal. Anyone who eats the blood must be cut off from the people." Okay, so two things. You're not to eat the fat there, and you're not to eat the blood. The fat was actually given to the Lord, and the blood was drained off. So these are exact specifications, and the blood is what, if you cook raw meat, if you don't even cook raw meat, and you're eating raw meat or rare meat, and you keep the blood in it, well, there's a good chance you're going to get sick. And so this was also, people don't realize this, but God was protecting the people of Israel by giving them these specifications. All right, so the specifications are there not only for the sacrifice, that this is the way God wants it, but it's also there to protect the people. Okay, so you could go on and on about that, but I'm going to stop there with that. It's pretty self-explanatory. So again, these are specifications, not suggestions. And in the same way, we as Christians, we need to be following the Bible and looking at that. It is specifications, not suggestions. All right. Hey, thanks for joining me as I walk through Leviticus here. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Leviticus. Lord's blessing. I will see you then.